Three, two, one. Welcome back to another AT Talks. This is episode 6 on topic 3. Topic 3 is National Athletic Training Month. This will be our last episode before we move on to topic 4. Topic 4 was voted on, and it's overwhelmingly things I wish I knew when I started. So that's going to be a fun one to talk about. But we have 3 guests today. We have Annemarie, we have Todd, and we have Emily. If you could just quickly say something about yourself so that people can learn who you are.
Sure. So I'll take lead. I'm Annemarie Francis. I work in a secondary school's private high school, full-time there. I actually started the profession by graduating in the last millennia. So I've been at this for about 25 years now. And then I have spent some time in other settings. So I've done a little bit of freelance work, PRN for a hospital right now, as well as a little bit of time in the college and clinic environments.
Awesome. I'll take the second lead here. My name's Todd. I'm from Ohio. Still kind of a young buck in the profession. I'm in my 5th year, and I work in the secondary school setting. And then I also was and currently am working on in my new. I just moved, so I'm working on having a private practice, a private cash-based athletic training practice that I was running in Columbus, and now working on getting started back up here in the Akron area. So.
All right. Hi, everybody. I'm Emily. I'm out of Illinois. I'm also kind of on the newer side. I've been 4 years in a secondary setting as well, working out of a bigger PT company currently. I've kind of dabbled with this company. I've been through at some collegiate settings, but I mainly stick to the the secondary school settings currently.
Do we have any big plans for National Training Month? Anything we plan on doing this year?
So I'm based in Virginia. I'm actually closer to the DC area, so I've got a nice metropolitan suburban sort of foothold. I intend to actually increase my Twitter links, the network, to get expanded outside that region. So I do have a Twitter handle, @FrankAdvocate. The idea being that I was shortening up some things to try to be a really frank and honest professional advocate for athletic training, and trying to develop the network in Twitter is actually one of the goals that I've got for the entire month of March. But in addition to that, at the school level, I'm going to be doing a little bit of extra professional housekeeping, shall we say. The intention is to actually make cold call contacts to the local healthcare community to reach out to physicians, especially pediatricians, where our kids land. In addition to some new urgent care centers that have popped up, some physical therapy offices that I've located through some recent concussion cases. And the idea is really to kind of put in front of them who I am, where I am, what I do, and how I can cooperate in communicating with them. So it's kind of a cold call effort. I'm targeting 5 different places each week throughout the month of March, and I intend to give them a little bit of like a letter of introduction along with a snapshot of what athletic training is. I haven't decided on how exactly, with a handout or a flyer, if I'm going to use resources from the NATA or the local Virginia Athletic Trainers Association. We've got a website up that's got some great resources as well.
And I got a question for you. So do you plan on actually cold calling, or do you plan on walking into their practice with that?
A bit of both. Yeah, a bit of both.
Right.
Some places are close to school, so it'd be easy to drive over to. But our Catholic high school draws from quite a distance away. So if I've got athletes, especially going south from school, that could actually turn into about an hour and a half commute. So those will definitely be phone call based, trying to reach probably office managers or the particular physician I'm trying to target.
Awesome.
Very cool. So the biggest thing for me, and if you guys have seen me on social media, I try to do a pretty, in my view, a decent job of advocating for the profession and being very positive, and I want to continue to do that at a little bit higher level here in March. I've never done a ton of, even though the resources that the NATA has are great, I've never been one to kind of put them up and around, which I may do that this year. But my biggest thing is to maybe do a little bit more of that virtually through Twitter, through Instagram, through Facebook, just to kind of get those out there, because the speed at which those things can be spread around is awesome. And I'm a huge proponent of social media when it's used in a positive way. And a big thing that I also, when I was working in the private catch-based practice in Columbus, the biggest thing that I found was really cool, and I wasn't super expected when it was happening in real time. But looking back on it, what I plan on doing this month is getting in front of people face to face, even if it's just at a gym or a fitness center, and not necessarily even telling people exactly what we do, but how we can help and how we can care for them. When I was working at a gym in Columbus, I was in a big powerlifting setting, bodybuilding setting, and just being able to provide little tidbits every single day and showing, what athletic trainers can do, how we can help you in real time, and not just, theoretically, yeah, we prevent injuries, diagnose injuries, evaluate injuries. This is how I can help you right now. And this is what I can do to help you hit your 400-pound squat right now. These are things that we can do hands-on to help you feel better, help you do something you love, with people you love, so just kind of showing them in real time and kind of that tangible like effect that we can have, not just a lot of theoretical stuff, because everybody responds differently to, if we have like our 2 or 3 minute elevator pitch, that may resonate with 10 people, but 20 people may, zone you out in the first 20 seconds. So you got to kind of know who you're talking to and speaking to. And so that's something kind of, without going on a soapbox, what I intend to do here in March.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm usually not much of a social media person, but I'm also, I don't have the Twitter feeds or anything like that, but I do plan on, kind of reaching out to people out, like Facebook, or if I'm able to kind of understand Instagram, all that too. But most of our stuff that we like to do, we have a sports medicine program that we have at my secondary school. So we get our students involved as well. We get them to, be able to help promote the National Athletic Training Month at our high school, even also around in our community as well. In the past, we've had kids do like a proclamation at, like a district meeting or something like that too, and we've had a lot of opportunities to get that feed out there as well. I'm also just currently too, just looking out for new ways to reach out and let people know what the profession is, since I always seem to be doing my elevator speech like constantly, as most people don't understand what athletic trainers actually do. So
Is there anything you've seen that people have done in the past, or that you've seen like coworkers, colleagues, like, hey, I'm going to try to do this, and you're like, oh, such a great idea?
I've attended a few athletic events, professional sports-wise, where they actually honored the athletic trainer. Took a moment to put something up on the jumbotron, get them to say hi, wave, something like that. I've also seen a few things where they were honored at halftime. So you actually had professionals in the organization, the president of the club or whoever, out there presenting something for gratitude and recognizing National Athletic Training Month. Which is huge in our area, being in Washington, D.C. area, to get that kind of reach, because that's stuff that's actually not just limited to the 20,000 people or so in the arena, but it's being televised because they're taking those moments to kind of put it in the limelight.
Yeah, I'll piggyback off that. I think the biggest thing, and there's been a lot of people that have done it really well, but situations like that where we're advocating and publicizing the things that we do on a daily basis to people outside of our realm. I think we're really good at advocating to other athletic trainers about how, all the knowledge and things that we have and the things that we do. But I think that we kind of get in our little bubble sometimes, and we need to do a better job of expanding that out to people who may not have any clue what we do. Alicia Pennington's one that comes to mind. I remember Kemery Sigmund, who was actually one of my professors in undergrad. She's been very active on social media. She kind of challenged us one day on social media, like, how can we get this out to people outside of, just our athletic training bubble or circle? Because we're all a pretty close-knit community, especially people who are very active on social media. We're always I feel like, speaking to each other, but how can we get that out and vocalize to a wider variety of people? So, like I said, I could list off 20 names, but there's people that do a very good job of that. I think we just need a little bit more.
You got anything to add to that, Emily?
I honestly, I don't think I think they said it all, quite honestly.
There's nothing that Brian's done the last 35 years of his career that at the school.
We, just to we kind of do something toward my company base. It's not really necessarily, just in general kind of promoting athletic training services. We've done recently, actually this past Friday, we had for our our senior night for boys basketball, we had my company did a night where we kind of, just promoted our company, kind of promoted the services, kind of recognized, what, my company can do, for the community, so it's kind of nice to, bring it out just to, it's just get it into the limelight of, this is the services. Now, granted, this also too involves PT, as well as OT, all that as well. But they also kind of encourage with, they recognize us as well. I know there's, we also they try to do at my high school too. It's just to kind of recognize us too, with announcements prior to games, sporting events. So, like for football, for basketball, or, certain events there as well. Granted, maybe not every time, but, from here and there, we get that name out there as well.
Yeah, for I'm in Indiana and I'm at a high school, and for March we don't really have any sporting events. But at 2:25 is the afternoon announcements, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to work my way into that main office and get on those announcements.
Nice.
But Todd, I think you bring up a great point. I saw that a few months ago. Someone was like, "Great job advocating, but we advocate to ourselves." So I've been trying to follow strength coaches, sport coaches, PTs, nurses, physical therapists, just everybody to try to expand. And then I also appreciate Annemarie. If you have any friends that have 10, 15, 20 years experience and want to come on this show, talk to them. Because if you watch the episodes, it's overwhelmingly young professionals with 2, 3, 4, 5 years experience. 10, 15, 20 years are just not interested in this kind of format. So.
Well, and sometimes it's schedule-based, or we've got families that we're trying to work with.
Absolutely.
There's a handful of folks that I've already begun to try to quietly reach out towards, because I think social media is one of those things that if they're trying to reach stakeholders, and your stakeholders are your parents or your teenagers that are going on and playing in college ball, starting out those connections now makes a huge difference and pays dividends down the road. So I certainly can see the value in doing some of that stuff. And then, of course, being in the secondary schools, if you're not reaching out to parents and making inroads across all their walks of life, when you're helping little Johnny or little Susie recover from their injuries, you're losing out on the big opportunity to just kind of circulate awareness about what the profession is. I can speak to the growth within our larger families at our high school. The parents that know me send their kids in, and I'm getting to the point where I'm almost seeing the parent with the child like I'm running a medical office. They're coming in together to approach whatever the health matter is. So I think those sorts of things certainly occur in my backyard to an extent. And it is a little different between public schools and private schools as to how you kind of pitch, so to speak, your elevator speech or your care plans. And those sorts of details, certainly you can circulate that a little bit wider if you just create some awareness, whether it's still frame photos that you're putting up on Instagram, commenting on articles that you can locate and share professionally through Facebook or Twitter. Those are the kinds of things I'm going to be experimenting just a little bit with here in the next week to try to figure out kind of where I'm going to hit my ballpark run, so to speak, throughout March.
Yeah, in June and July of 2019, I received approval from the athletic director to create a Facebook sports medicine page. And I've just been posting a lot of pictures. I'll take a lot of selfies with the kids or the team pictures, and they're playing sports or maybe they're in the weight room, and just getting that information out there and getting my face out there. The parents are starting to more me know, and I'm becoming more of the community. And they know now that, if something were to happen, Tom is there. Tom will take care of my kid. I've seen him take care of my kid. I've met him at a game or something. So just starting in your own house, your own school, your own, even if you teach at a school or you're a professor, just starting in-house is a great place for advocating. Is there anything else we want to add, or we think we hit everything?
I'll add one more thing, only because I think, and it kind of ties into what I was saying earlier, but I read a book called Building Your Story Brand by Donald Miller earlier this year. And I would recommend every single athletic trainer read that book, because it's perfect for learning how to advocate for ourselves better. And it's almost like a elevator speech on steroids. Like, if you had 5 words to describe what you do and how you can help the person standing right in front of you, how would you do that? Like, getting away from the fluff, getting away from everything that you think is important to you, because that may not be important to them. I would highly recommend everybody read that, because it makes you think differently about how you speak to people and how everybody's interests are different, and what you think is important, it may not be what they think is important. So.
Well, I appreciate all three of you spending some time this morning, this Sunday. Well, it's noon here in Central Time, so it's not morning anymore, it's afternoon. But thanks for coming out and spending, this is probably 15, 18 minutes or so. I would like to have you guys back for future topics. This is a hard topic to really dive into and elaborate on, but topic 4 is going to be really good. The things I wish I knew when I started. So thank you for your time, and have a good rest of your Sunday.
Thanks, Thomas.
Thanks again.
Thank you, Tom.
All right, bye-bye.